Hey y'all, welcome to day 2 of our surgical mission trip. So day 2 was a Friday. We woke up pretty early. I was up probably at about 5:30 because we had to head out at exactly 7 on the dot. So I was up and ready to go. Yeah. So by the time I got to the lobby, our pickup was already there. So we quickly got into the bus and we went straight to the Cheshire home for breakfast, where Sister Katie, God bless her so much, but she kept us so well. Sister Katie made us breakfast in the morning, and to be honest, at least for me, it was so good to have somebody else cook and fuss and do all that. Yeah. So after we had breakfast, we headed back to the hospital to see our patients, actually to do the cases that we had scheduled the previous day. So soon after breakfast, we headed back to the hospital to do the cases that we had scheduled the previous day. So we went pretty early, about 7:40 we were there. So theater had just opened and everyone, they were cleaning up and we were setting up. We wrote down our cases for the day on the wall. Half of them were cleft lips and cleft palates, which take 1.5 to 2 hours each. At this point, I was quite tired. So OT2 was operating the emergency cases for the day, like the C-sections, and OT1 was where we're doing our electives. Thank God Sister Katie packed us a sandwich basket, I guess. So we had sandwiches and scones and other snacks and juice and water. It was such a long day, especially with the first half of the cases, which took so long. I think by the time we actually got a break, it was about 3 p.m. So by the time we were finishing off the rest of the cases, I think it was about 7:30. Didn't even see the time fly by, but it was soon home time, thank God. And we quickly headed out to have supper, of course. And at least we chatted and stretched out a bit. And I think it was a good day. Work like this really, I think that's where people find the purpose more than in the mundane dealings that we do day to day. So that was end of day 2, Friday, and it was Saturday, which was going home day. So the objective for Saturday was to do the last 2 cases that we managed to schedule in on Friday. There were some 2 emergency cases that came in, so our plan for the day was to go to the hospital, do the cases, and then soon head out. So this day I woke up really early, packed up my bags, made sure I didn't leave anything, charged my phones very well, and of course an outfit check. I loved this bathroom and I liked the mirror. So yeah, it was soon time to head out. I always would head out at about 6:55 because it wasn't really a long walk, but yeah, I just wanted to get there right before 7 because our pickup was always at 7 sharp. So locked up, turned off the lights, turned off the AC, turned off all the switches and the electricals. Yeah, just, good manners, I guess. Yeah, so locked up and headed out. Took some last pictures of my surroundings so that I could have them as a memory, and hopefully if I do get to visit Mongu again and stay here, I can see how beautiful the garden must be. So that's my bright and early face with all my baggage. And this flower, my mom has it growing at the farm and my daughter loves it. Every time we're there, and if it's in bloom, she will always pick one to give me to put in my hair. So again, Saturday morning, so quickly walking down, heading to our pickup point, and then we went straight to breakfast, and then we went to the hospital. So we stopped at the Cheshire home for breakfast, and then we went to the hospital. Remember, we had the 2 cases that we had scheduled for Saturday. So we just went in to quickly do our 2 cases because the goal was to be flying out by 12 or 12:30 latest. I think the weather focus wasn't too good after about that time with the flying time. So the goal was to just get them quickly done, do a quick round to see the patients that we had operated on the previous day, and then head out. About this time, I was extremely tired, brain drain. In the final surgical notes, saying goodbye to Theater 1, and then before we knew it was about 11:30 and we were on the road heading to the airport. Again, so thankful to Sister Katie because she kept us so well, driving us every day to and from everywhere we needed to go. That was so kind of her. So we got our bags and got in the tiny plane again. And honestly, after this experience, I feel like I have had enough adventure for a lifetime. In December, our Christmas holiday was in Livingston, and I got to go on a zip line into the gorge. After the zip line, I got in this tiny plane. I think I'm done. Yeah. All the boxes I need to tick for adventure, absolutely done. So it was takeoff. And about 2.5 hours later, we were home. So it was just saying goodbye to Mongu. Goodbye, Mongu. The rivers that I loved so much to see from above, the plains, the floodplains, even though they were not flooded, but it was just good to see them. So this was the weather that we're trying to beat, because there was a thick cloud cover in Lusaka, and I'm pretty sure it rained later that day. So as we were approaching Lusaka, the cloud cover got thicker and thicker, and that's the Chitamene system you can see with all the fires burning. Yeah. So as soon as I saw this little spiral hill thing, I knew we were about to land. So there'll be some point where I can see the landing strip and I'll show it to you. Yeah, but again, always surprising. Like for me, I think this trip was an eye-opener that people do have lots of land and lots of wealth in Lusaka. I mean, there's a hangar with a plane on someone's farm. So our landing strip was right there, right up ahead. That was where we were going. So at this point, I was feeling a little bit scared. I think using the camera, the trees may seem much further up than they did in real life, but it was super close. It was so close. I really thought that maybe, just maybe, we would get caught in the trees. But I guess Dr. Goran has been flying for a long time, so he was pretty confident. Otherwise, I was just anxious to get home, see my kids. Because it was an impromptu trip, I think I was more anxious to get home than anything else. So we touched down Lusaka, and then we had to do all the preliminaries, like put the plane in the hangar, refuel, and I think he checks a few things, so I had to wait for him to check all the things that he needed to check, and then we were on our way. So we're driving out through the ranch, and I could see they had some wild animals. They had some sable, some roan antelope. They had different species of antelope and impala. Like, people have money out there. They're just keeping these on their farm. And you know, a sable is like $20,000, and that was way back when. I don't know how much they are now. So we drove out. So apart from the wild side, they also have, it's a ranch, so they have cows, of course, cows and chickens and goats. And yeah, so I think so from this point we drove out of the ranch, and from the ranch up to my pickup, or the drop-off point, was about 20 minutes. So it was a 20-minute drive, and I got there, and my pickup, my sister was there. Was so glad to have the cashew nuts that they gave us as a souvenir. And then I got home.